We're popping bottles. Today I'm talking all about sparkling wine, specifically Cava, and I'm gonna explain what makes Cava, Cava. So Cava is Spain's answer to champagne. You know, any of these, from anywhere it could be sparkling wine, but if it's from Champagne in France, then they call it champagne. And I think a lot of people know champagne. It's very famous. They have good branding. Some people know Prosecco, right? Maybe a little less people. Italy's answer for the sparkling wine. And I think even fewer people know Cava. So when making sparkling wine, there's a couple different ways that they do it. And for the Cava, it's actually the same as the champagne. They're using the traditional method, except it's from Spain, so it's called Cava. I recently took a trip to Barcelona, and just outside of the city is the region called Penedès, and this is where the Cava comes from. And I went there, took a tour, and got to see how it's made. And the process actually starts the same as with other wines. They're gonna take the fermented grape juice and they're gonna put it in bottles, and then from there they're gonna actually add a little bit of yeast, they're gonna add a little bit of sugar, and this is gonna cause it to re-ferment in the bottle, and that's how it's gonna become bubbly or sparkling in the bottle, because it's fermenting for a second time. And then the bottles are turned upside down and they're rotated over time so that the yeast can fall out. Now, they used to do all this by hand, but now places that are dealing with millions of bottles, like the place that I went to, Ventura, they can't really do all that, dealing with millions of bottles. They can't do it by hand. So there's machines that do the exact same thing, turning the bottles over, and then the yeast falls into the neck of the bottle. They actually freeze it. In order to get that out, they freeze it, they open it, and that yeast chunk is gonna pop out, and then they re-cork it. So that's just a little look inside the process of how Cava is made. And I don't wanna get too deep in here, but there are different levels of Cava, so there's different classifications. So there's Cava, there's the Reserva, and the Gran Reserva. This one's actually a Gran Reserva. I couldn't get a bottle from the place that I visited because I was only traveling with a carry-on backpack, so I couldn't, unfortunately, take anything back. I had to wait until I was through airport security to buy this one at the airport. But this one is the Gran Reserva, so it was actually aged more than 30 months. That's just the different classifications that they have for the Gran Reserva. It has to be aged at least 30 months. And when you think about that, because it has to be aged, you have to start having a lot of space, especially if you're dealing with millions of bottles, because 30 months, right? So you're gonna get done with this year's vintage, but it's not ready yet. You gotta wait. So you gotta put that to the side, and then you're gonna get next year's in. That one's gotta start waiting. You're still waiting on the first one. You're gonna get next year's in after that. So you gotta have a whole lot of space in order to age these things. But we'll go ahead and give this one a go here. Looks pretty nice. Looks like a nice medium to deep yellow color. I'm seeing lots of small bubbles in there. Looks like it's gonna be pretty good. We'll go ahead and give it a smell. With the sparkling wines, I usually kind of think it smells like apples. They're almost kind of like cider. So we'll see if it tastes the same. Yeah, it tastes kind of appley, but then also there's a little creaminess to it, because when they age these, you know, it's sitting with that yeast in there. It kind of gets a little creamy. Sometimes people describe these as a little toasty, and the more that you age it, and this one is aged, you start getting those type of characteristics, but it tastes really nice. The grapes that they use for this is the Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and the xarel-lo. Those are the grapes they use to make this Gran Reserva Cava. Thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, congratulations! You made it to the end of the video, and I really do appreciate you making it this far. please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, as well as giving me a thumbs up. That lets me know I'm doing something right. And I want to hear from you guys as well. What kind of sparkling wine do you like drinking? Do you prefer champagne? Do you like Prosecco? Have you had Cava before? Let me know in the comments. I will see you in the next video, but for now, cheers.